So, here we are. I knew we would meet again simply because of the agenda of a typical narcissist. They're never done! No.
They keep going and going and going and going and going.
They do. See everyone's face when that thing crossed the table? Narcissists. They're disruptive, dramatic, and just chaos.
But when I get to court, I'm going to show you that the world is round.
They may be done with you, but their work is just never done. It lives on. There are far too many sources to supply themselves with the gratification of trickery and control. Just think, if everyone could master no contact with a narcissist, what a new world we would live in today. I myself have fallen victim to reactive responses to these kind of people. And that is the one thing, if I could do differently back then, I would do it if I had it to do all over again. Master self-control. That's a whole new game. That throws a wrench in the rules created by a narcissist. And you don't have their permission to do that. So that is what we are here for today. Today we talk real talk on what's next. We prepare for the worst because this is just the beginning. And if not careful, Micah's death can live in the shadow of the media focusing on JP and his behavior. What he's doing next, what he's talking about, who he's hanging out with, and we're not going down that rabbit hole. Our mission is for Micah. JP will and is already exposing himself day by day. So let's talk about it. So JP has a TikTok or something, and he has promised to debunk one lie at a time. Now, I don't mind making an example out of the guy all day. The message for me slides right off. In fact, making an example out of this guy in his church, if he knew that I would educate people from his life, even the bad, he would most likely marvel at it. Oh my gosh, she said my name. Isn't that great? Funny that he works for me now. My channel is monetized. I help people and I get paid to do it based off of his stupidity. The irony of this whole thing is every time he goes to insult JLR Investigates or Robbie Harvey, he admits to investing into their content.
You know, Robbie's Stinky Harvey's. JLR never investigates.
And if nobody knew of what these people had to say, let alone their existence, because of JP's big mouth, they do now. This has been fires up a channel of some sort and starts hurting people because of his own narcissistic injury. The injury of his own doing. These are people that are simply acknowledging the truth. Hey, I'm JP, they can't do that. I'm sending out a cease and desist. Public records, John Paul Miller. Can't expunge your track record forever. So anyway, you get the gist of all of this. We've been promised, because of his anger issues on being narcissistically injured, through his appearance, that there is a war ahead. Now, he's been putting out videos every single day as of the last few days. The first thing he does is he greets us. Then he wears his ring and he makes sure that we can still see it. He knows it agitates people to see that. He opens up each video with his goals, which are toxic, hateful, and certainly not of God. In fact, it's all just inhumane. So basically, he's like, I'm going to be hurting someone in less than 3 minutes today, with each video that he's releasing daily. And he tends to go after Micah's family right away. In these videos, he continues with this pattern. He talks about proof a lot. I'll prove this. I'll prove that.
I'll see. Let me say this. I want to answer everything, but I don't want to answer it without me holding up my proof and showing it to you, because I think it's just ignorant for someone to just give, their opinion or say something and not have proof behind it when it's something as serious as this.
And I am looking forward to presenting over 350 pieces of proof.
He accepts no responsibility of proof that we've seen on him. He just tells us to look for the proof on others. Most importantly, and very hurtful to those who loved Micah, he paints Micah to be the villain each time in his videos. So more than likely, since his supply, his wife has passed away, and he's using new supply, these chicks on the side, to be the good guy, to keep his flying monkeys working for him, he's got to be toxic to somebody. It's in his nature. That's always going to be toward the people fighting for Micah. Her family, YouTube creators, etc. Those are his targets. Now, there's a few problems here. Number one, the family are not supposed to be taunted nor contacted through third parties.
Michael Francis is the biological father. What'd you say, Michael, about this? And whose idea do you think that was?
In this particular case, the restraining order basically is saying that the parties are mutually restrained from contacting the other, that all communications will be handled through the attorney's offices, so there's no need for any direct communication.
What it sounded like to me was if that happens, the family have to go back to court and provide evidence of it. And, that is more time, that is more stress, that's more tears, that's more pain. Ultimate goal, in my opinion, is it's a distraction from grieving the loved one who went to be with Jesus, Micah. The goal is to continue to be on Micah and justice for Micah. That's everybody's goal. So let's just recognize what he's doing. This is all his way of saying, I won't be silenced and mocked. So he comes out with his lunatic behavior on film to think that we are all just dying to hear what he has to say. He's the first one to say that he's got proof, but we have yet to see proof. He just talks a lot. So knowing that, let's watch all of his recent videos he's put out, and let's just see, how this affects me. Let's see how this affects or changes my opinion on why we are even here to begin.
Greetings, everybody. I am here to let you know that my silence is nothing more than wisdom and self-control so that we can win the war that is up ahead. And I am looking forward to presenting over 350 pieces of proof on what Micah thinks about her family and what Micah thinks about her lawyer and the things her lawyer's saying and the things that her family's saying and Charlotte and all these other people that are saying things. People forget that Micah corresponded with me more than anybody else on planet Earth. And I know her heart. And I have her text messages, and we're going to disprove all the lies that are out there. And there's so many lies, it seems like everybody thinks the world is flat. And you ask them why, and they say, well, it says on the news the world's flat. Or, Robbie Stinky Harvey said that it's flat. Or JLR Never Investigates says that it's flat. But when I get to court, I'm going to show you that the world is round.
Oh my God! Wow!
And you're going to be shocked at some of the things that you see that Micah says. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death. And Micah will have justice when it's all said and done. And I'm going to make sure of it. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.
Okay.
Everybody, tonight's video is going to be a little bit more lighthearted than normal. The goal is to debunk a different lie every night, and the Francis family has given me a lot to work with, so it's going to take a while. But don't believe anything that I say just because I say it. That's as foolish as you believing what they say just because they say it. You need to look for proof and truth. And so tonight we're going to deal with something that Michael Francis said. Micah, my wife, had 7 days. I think her mom's married 7 times. Michael Francis is the biological father, and he said the other day on some show something to the effect of Micah's one of her tattoos, my name that's my signature that is tattooed on her body. He inferred that meant that I owned her and that I was controlling and manipulative, and I made her get that tattoo so I could brand her and stamp her and say that she belongs to me. And that's not really how it worked. The first time she got my signature tattooed on her, it was when we were dating. And I was actually in New York on a vacation, and she sent me a picture of what she had done, and I was surprised. A few weeks later, we broke up, and she covered it up with a lotus flower. And then we got married, and then a few years later, she got my signature tattooed on the other side of her body. But I don't think that it means that I was controlling and manipulative. I don't think it means that I owned her. I don't think it was a brand or anything I forced her to do. It was completely her idea. And I don't know why Michael would think that. But if you do think that's what it means, if somebody has, someone else's name, their signature even, tattooed on their body, if you think it means that person owns them and, that they are over them and they're controlling, then what would you say, Michael, about this? Hey everyone, tonight we will deal with the fact that I preached the day after my wife passed and the announcement that I made. Before that, I just want to talk about the tattoo from the other night. The tattoo that had her signature, it was gotten back in January with her. She wanted a very, very thick wedding band tattooed on her wedding finger so that when she was working out or we were on vacation, when she didn't have a ring, she'd let everybody know she was still married. That is not something that someone who's being abused does, but she wanted that tattoo and she wanted me to get her signature, so I showed up and did it. The reason I preached the day after she passed, the night before that midnight, I had 5 people at my house telling me not to preach and I would be crazy for doing it. I didn't listen, and it's because at first I didn't believe it. I'd spent the past 3.5 months doing everything I could to keep her alive. My goal was every single day to find somebody, some way to get her medicine, because I told them that she was going to commit suicide if she didn't get her lithium. And I went to her pastors, counselors, doctors, policemen, judges, friends, family, roommates, everybody you could possibly think of, and nobody believed me. So to get that call that night that it happened, I'm sure you can imagine what a failure I felt like, as well as this just can't be true. It became my worst nightmare. There's no way. And so I think maybe the family was playing a trick on me or something. The other side of it was, I thought if it is true, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do anything. I want to just keep living my life as if it never happened, because I was not ready to believe that it happened. So the next day I preached like a fool, and then I made my announcement for everybody to be quiet and leave, because like a moment of silence, like you do, in respect. I did it kind of like, I don't want anybody to be talking about, suicide or mental illness or asking me questions, or I just wanted them to leave and go talk to Jesus about it and then talk to me at some later date. I was not prepared to deal with any of it at all, and I'm sure you cannot imagine what it's like to be trying your best to keep somebody alive and then to find out they passed, and then how do you handle yourself in that next 24, 48 hours? I don't think there's a manual on that. So if it offends anybody, I apologize, but I did the best I could with what I had. And God bless.
I'm not sure about that. Here's the deal. My safe haven is with Micah. I knew what I was doing when I was coming here talking about this case, and that hasn't changed for me. Nothing that JP says will change my heart on what I know to be true. I saw the proof that this guy is continuously avoiding. Projection. I see it so very clearly. Hypocrisy. Micah's mom was divorced 7 times. Who cares? Look at your track record. It's just like such a pointless battle of back and forth. You see what I'm saying? Everything that this guy says, you just, fine. If you want to look at it, it's like, just, all right, whatever, man. Like, it's entertaining at this point. You're a clown. I bought tickets for the circus. I don't really have much to say or think about it, because I know the truth. I know the truth is going to come out. So as you continue to see this guy sit on a couch, sit in his bedroom all alone without custody of his children, a deceased wife, another wife that's fighting a battle of rights to protect what's left of their family that was broken up at his hands, know your truth. Know that he's 15 steps ahead. Know that this is called a smear campaign. This is what he's going to do. Prepare. Prepare for the fact that there are going to be reactive responses. That is every victim's unfortunate demise. Like, all of us have sat there and argued our way and tried to fight the good fight with these kind of people. It's gotten us nowhere. Sometimes we've said things we shouldn't have said, or we've behaved in ways that we shouldn't have behaved. But that's kind of like the same situation as sticking a chihuahua in a cage and then poking it with a broom and expecting it not to yap back. We're here for justice for Micah, and this guy can talk all day long, waiting for it. But we don't trust and believe a word that he says. Don't fall for it. I seen this TikTok about this girl that came out and she's like, I'm attracted to him, not like his behavior so much, but just something about him, and I'm not proud of that. It's like, oh, shall we not? Let's not feed the beast. Let's not give this guy any kind of credibility. He deserves nothing. There's nothing attractive about him. She even compared herself to Micah when she said it. She goes, yeah, Micah was attracted to him, and I'm sure she didn't like that about herself. It's like, ma'am, Micah was groomed from a very early age. I'm pretty sure when she was a teenager, she didn't look at that guy and think, oh, he's real hot. Yeah. I'm sure that she was in the church for the right reasons, and she was preyed upon, and it took years for her to feel the way that she did. I do not believe that she sat there, looked at that guy and thought, oh, he's fine as heck. That dude is fine. That's not how grooming works. So fight the good fight for Micah, you guys. She lost her life. We're here to support her family, her loved ones. With God on our side, justice will prevail. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Good to see you again. I will be seeing you next time for more content. I'm Chelsea J. Be blessed.